Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we are at the Niello Company in Sacramento, California. And Ted, BDC is top of mind for a lot of success here at the Niello Company.
That's right. Niello is making great strides. We have some of the leaders in the industry here with us today. Karl has been setting up the BDC centralized now for some time with great success. We have Joe Clementi from Traver Connect, Liza Martenson from Volie, and look at this, Derek Simonds from Numa, all on one panel. So, Sarah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
This is going to be a lot of fun, Ted. And Derek, I'll kick things off with you. With so much focus on text and email, why do phone calls still remain one of the most effective ways to connect with customers and drive appointments?
Well, at the end of the day, it's about communication, right? And it is so much more human to human when we can actually get on the phone and communicate. One of the challenges that we see, and Liza's probably going to talk about this as well, is the connection rate. We're going to talk about some of the stats that go with that. But the challenge is you have to be available when the customer is available. And if you don't, then you end up with that misconnection. And the only way to get them back is through texting. So it's a huge opportunity for us to make sure that our BDC team is available. One of the big challenges that we see with BDC operations is that it get inundated on non-productive phone calls, right? They can't get to the service department, so they just get transferred to somewhere. And then you end up having to have your BDC team members doing that, and they're actually missing those important phone calls that they need to do to schedule the appointments. So that's one of the huge challenges that we see, and I think that contributes some to the communication part.
And Liza, Volie is really helping the Niello Company with those elements when it comes to the outbound communication, when it comes to the strategies around reaching the customer. What are you seeing with phone calls specifically?
Derek's right. It's easy for inbound calls they're non-negotiable, right? So when the customer calls in, that's your highest priority. So making the most of the time that you have left for your outbound strategy, you have to be really thoughtful there. So we spend a lot of time strategizing on that. I agree that once you connect with someone, your best opportunity to educate your customer is when you can have a back and forth conversation. They can ask questions, you can respond in real time. That's just easiest on the phone. You can answer things in the moment.
And Karl, your team, you have 11 agents here at the Niello Company that are handling phone calls and communications for all of the brands with the Niello Company. What pieces are you seeing be most successful in driving that engagement?
Well, to Derek's point about phone calls that take away from our priority, one of the things that Volie's been really great at is they set up these hot alerts for us. So when we do get phone calls like that, we can just send a hot alert, goes right out to the advisors, and they'll take care of that. And it kind of pushes it off of our plate. So we can concentrate on reaching out to the customers with our successful outbound campaigns. And it's been really successful for us with improving our connection rate and conversion rate.
And Joe, customers really expect this communication today, especially as things become more and more integrated.
Yeah, and as customers become more noisy in the environment they live in, they get these subtle reminders that their vehicle maintenance is due. And when we reach out at the dealership level, we then connect. It builds way beyond more of a retention strategy. It's more of a loyalty strategy. And the more those customers connect and the questions are answered and they're able to communicate in the way they want, they start to feel more loyal to the environment. And that's really what we're trying to create.
Can I ask Karl a question?
Absolutely.
What do you think your percentage is inbound versus outbound right now? How much, what kind of outbound percentage do you have as the total call volume?
So I'd say right now, our goal is 2 to 1. Our goal, that's our goal. Right now, we're at about 1.5 to 1. So we're still trying to develop more outbound calls.
That's phenomenal. A lot of the stores we work with, when we first go in, we'll see that they're actually 70% inbound, 30% outbound.
Yeah.
And that minimizes the BD part of business development, right? We don't have it. So it's great to hear that you guys are 1.5 to 1.
Yeah, well, reaching out to those customers, that is really what we're there for. The people that are calling in, they're going to call in, they're going to come in anyhow. But reaching out to those customers and letting them know, hey, your car is due for service or you have a recall, that's how we're driving additional business.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Liza, let me come back to you. What separates BDC teams that consistently connect with customers from those that struggle to get engagement?
sometimes I think you're getting strategy from the wrong people. You have the wrong people at the table. You're not answering the right questions. Certain customers are going to engage more easily than others. So you can't expect the same outcomes from, every audience that you're targeting. So that's where I think you have to have a good strategy in mind. Teams that connect really well are listening to their customers. They're watching the trends in their communications. And they're also converting better because of those same reasons. They're listening and they're responding to what their customers are saying.
Joe, same question for you. What separates BDC teams that consistently connect with customers from those that struggle?
Yeah, it's a strategy, right? It's testing an A and B process. It's understanding when the right cadence works when and what that cadence looks like in terms of response from the customer. So there could be a great time to call a customer in the morning. You might find it's later in the afternoon, but you have to be able to communicate and come up with a campaign strategy that allows that customer to then engage, create the appointment, and build value in it. But it comes down to that strategy and having the right people build that strategy. The people in the room that can craft it is what creates the best results.
And Derek, you've done a lot of work on this topic as well. Well, in your opinion, what separates the BDC teams that consistently connect from those who don't?
Well, two things: accountability and training. If we don't, unfortunately, a lot of stores, the BDC ends up being a high turnover position, right? And you can't just throw a BDC agent in there on the first day and say, good luck, God bless, have fun, make some calls. They've got to be trained, right? We have to have a system for training them, and then we have to have the system for accountability. So you have to be using some sort of system, a Volie or a Numa, that is actually auditing those calls and is providing that insight into the FSC of the BDC agents, because you're going to have underperformers that need to have additional coaching in there. And I'm sure that's what you're doing as far as the goes. That's what I see. I see those two things as huge drivers for successful BDCs.
Karl, go ahead. If you've heard all these folks, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the great features that Volie has is the pulse, where it can actually grade our agents and how they're performing, and helps us to keep them accountable and coach them to help improve their performance.
It's exciting opportunities, Ted. Communication continues to be the most important part of building trust and retention for dealerships. And the Niello company is doing an incredible job of keeping their customers informed.
I'm hearing that common word today, trust. Okay?
Yeah.
Plays a big part in what we do. And Karl, congratulations to you. And it's just, that's your happening. Great honor to have Derek Simonds, Liza Martenson, Joe Clementi with us today with Karl at the Niello company. Sarah Vantine are here in Sacramento, and we are going to be right back.